All right. Hello. Hello from Malawi, Africa. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but we're here. And those of you who don't know, this is Troy. Hi, everybody. And myself, I'm Mike. And we just want to kind of tell you a little bit about where we are, what the Lord's doing here, and kind of the vision that He's placed upon us. We're on the property of Gospelink Training Center, which started 5 years plus ago. And it's amazing what we've seen here, but this is brush. There's no electricity here. It's, you can hear it's beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful morning here. And what we wanted to do is show you and tell you about what we want to go do. What you're looking at here is the property, the area that we believe the Lord has given us so that we can start an orphanage. And orphans here, there's a lot of them, as you can imagine. In Malawi, 75% of the population is under 21 years old. And just the last day that we've been here, everywhere you go, there's little children.
All right. Who are these people?
Orphanage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Justin, how many do you feed?
250.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every day or once a week?
No, every day.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
But today we have no food.
Okay. Okay. So there's a great work here and lots to do.
Good morning, everyone. It's early morning here in Malawi. It's a beautiful morning. The Lord has blessed. Behind me is, Lord willing, in a very few months, this is where the orphanage will begin. This looks just like bush, and it is. It's just overgrown. Much of this area looks just exactly like this, if not worse. But this is the place where God has allowed us to be able to have a work, really, to change the lives of children who don't have parents, or maybe have a parent but they're not involved in their life. There is a total of 1,000 acres here at Gospelink's property. Starts here, and we're near the beginning, follows all the way down this road and goes all the way to Lake Malawi. Lake Malawi is a beautiful, huge lake, and it's maybe hard for you to visualize what can be, but if you look on this side of the road, you can begin to get a picture of what's possible here. This is the training center, which Gospelink built. It's really great accommodations here in Malawi. You have electricity, you'll have running water there, and begins to give you an idea of a beautiful lawn that Zach and his team have taken care of here, and really just carved out a little piece of civilization here.
Pastor Troy Robinson called our training center a piece of civilization in the bush. But the focus of this ministry is people. Gospelink's mission is to help national preachers reach their own people with the gospel. But what a better way to disciple people than to train them from childhood? Surely this is God's plan in creating the family before He created the church. For those who have no parents, however, God has led us to begin an orphanage in which mothers and fathers will assume legal custody of children, saving them not just from the starvation and deprivation of Africa, but also providing them with an education and with the knowledge of God. The heartbeat of Gospelink is equipping the national people to do the work of the ministry. Our Father in heaven has demonstrated His stamp of approval to me by raising up key families of commitment and character to administrate this ministry. For 2 years now, Zach Nkata has been the operations manager here. He's in charge of the staff, he's in charge of building, construction, he's in charge of the agricultural work. So when God led us to begin the children's ministry and the children's orphanage, I knew he couldn't do that as well. I came to him, I said, Zach, we need another person like you. Where are we going to find someone like you? And Zach said, God will provide. And he had more faith than I did, because in my heart I thought, okay, God will provide, but I have to find them. But Zach was right. I don't have to find them. I have to trust and believe and be open. 1 week after having that conversation with Zach, I had a chance to meet Shadrach Galatea. I met him at the funeral of his mother, but he is the son of a Gospelink pastor who is one of the veteran church leaders in this entire country. He's really a patriarch that lives probably about 6 hours drive from here? 4 hours drive?
It's about 6.5.
Okay. But God has raised up Shadrach. He has a fascinating story, and the leadership is growing here.
Yeah, my name is Shadrach Galatia. I'm the one who managing this side. This is the orphanage side. I mean, it's now a year we have been doing this work, but I myself have been here for 2 years. The first time I came here, there was only one cottage. So we went to see the district social welfare office to see how we can start our own orphanage. So we had time, we discussed with them, we planned together, then it came a time when they accepted us to start, admitting the children. So first time we admitted 6 children. That was October last year, 2012. Then after that, in the next 3 months, then we also admitted about 5. Right now, I can tell you we've got 23 children, orphans, which we are looking after. So as you can see down there, we've got 2 more cottages. There are 2 families, and those families, I can say they are blessings to us. And we know that it's God who chose those ones, because they are more loving families, they like the children, and even our children, they like them, and they respect them as their parents as well. Thank you very much.
It is very unusual in Africa to have fathers as part of an orphanage. But in the beginning, God designed one man and one woman to raise children. I marvel at the team of families God is bringing together to do this work. And speaking of work, enough cannot be said for these self-sacrificing mothers. This is Shadrach's wife, Virian Galatia. Their heart for the Lord and the needy was apparent when I met them for the first time in 2011, and to learn that though unemployed, they were already caring for 3 orphans in their home. Now they are employed with Gospelink, and they have their hands full. Tell me, what time do you get up in the morning?
3:30
Why do you rise so early?
to prepare for the water for bathing these children.
Okay.
Yes.
Now when you say prepare the water, what are you doing? Are you fetching it from the borehole?
Yes, going to the borehole to collect water and putting them on the water for the heating.
Okay, so you have to warm the water by the fire.
Yes,
And how often do you bathe the children?
every day
Okay. In the morning or evening, usually?
in the morning.
Okay. Now, why doesn't your husband do it over here? Why doesn't he get up at 2:30?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Why don't you get up at 2:30?
I do get up sometimes,
Okay.
because I just help with mopping the house, cleaning the house. Yes,
Yeah. I'm joking a little.
I know.
We stand here 2 years, almost 2 years to the day, since the Lord brought us to Malawi the first time, and brought me to Malawi for the first time. I didn't even know where Malawi was. Had to look it up on the map when I first heard about it. And here we are, back 2 years later. We stood here, and behind me it was bush. All this field was bush, and as the Lord has worked over the last 2 years, you can see it's not bush or not brush or bush anymore. It's not overgrown. There are 3 cottages back here. There are widows on the property as well as some orphans. Just God doing incredible things. And I walked out here yesterday morning because it was my first morning back in Malawi, and I was watching what God was doing, and I couldn't help but think about Psalm 45, where David said, "My heart is overflowing with a good thing." And I just worshiped the Lord. I just stood here, I praised Him and thanked Him, because it wasn't our vision to do this. I would have never thought of it. It was God's vision, and it was God's provision, and it is God's provision. And this morning, as I was praying again, I just again wanted to call out and say, God, I want to trust you more than I do now. I want to believe you. For I want to get to the end of my life, and I don't want to have the regret that I didn't believe God enough. And so as you're looking at this, it's another evidence that we serve a God who's faithful, and He's worthy of being believed.
In 2013, 3 young women worked together as a team at the training center, teaching our children English and the Bible. Their ministry will enable these once deprived children to have an advantage through English language fluency. Their presence has been a beautiful blessing to the families, and there are more opportunities like these.
I'm gonna have to because it's falling off of the poor child. Every morning we'll have kids come over and we'll have little Oscar and Vito come to our door and knock on it at 10:30 in the morning asking when school. You get to see them come over. We go to school every day, twice a day.
Each child is precious to the Lord, but let me introduce you to a few. This is Christopher Blessings. He is always contemplating and thinking about something. When he learns to speak English better, I think I shall ask him about it. This is little Shadrach. He has personality, sometimes good, sometimes in need of direction, but he will be a leader someday. Both his parents are deceased, and he has two younger siblings that are not in our custody yet, but we hope to bring the children together again soon. This is Precious. His name describes him pretty well.
Yeah, there's Precious. Go stand by Precious.
This is his sister Regina. In October 2012, a nearby chief brought our attention to the deplorable living conditions of these two who were living with a distant uncle. They were underfed and were suffering from lack of proper medical treatment. Shadrach stepped immediately in and took them. We received legal custody of them in very short time. They are very happy now. This is Pampero. Pampero is the Chichewa word for prayer, and perhaps that is what his mama believed in before she died when he was 1 year old. Before he came to us, Pampero was living with an auntie, and they survived on whatever fruit was in season. In December 2012, his diet was 8 mangoes a day. When they were gone, the auntie was going to resort to mushrooms collected from the field. This video was shot in December 2013, 1 year later after Pampero came to us. As you can see, he is fed and doing well. This is little Ruth Clement. She and her older brother were given to us by social services after their mother went missing for 3 months. This is the older brother, Chisomo. Allegedly, the mother is involved in a sordid lifestyle of brewing homemade beer and various other sins. But fascinatingly, she named her son Chisomo, which means grace. This is Rhoda. She came from a very healthy family. But 3 years ago, early one morning, her parents were riding a bicycle together and they were struck by a vehicle, leaving her an orphan. These two children are Amina and Chifanulo. They are originally from a Muslim family. They've been with us for over a year, but still struggle emotionally from some of their past pain. This is Margaret and Janala. They are inseparable sisters whose biggest emotional struggle was to part with their filthy clothing. Soap and water eventually won the day, and they are doing quite well. This is the dear Soko family. Pastor Duncan Soko was sponsored by Gospelink about 300 to 400 miles north of here. Passed away last summer, but we love his family, and we're very, very glad that he can be here. Mrs. Soko is here, and is a diligent worker. She'll be doing some gardening and farming, and also helping with the children's ministry. And these are my dear friends. This is Emanuelo. All right, hey, shake my hand. Good morning. This is my good friend Marco. Right? Good morning, Marco. How are you? Pastor Soko was only 45 when he passed away to kidney failure. We invited Mrs. Soko to bring her family to our property, and their children have become a vibrant part of this growing community. We are so grateful. These children are supported through the farm and in part through monthly sponsorships from America. We welcome Americans to come and participate in the training and discipleship of these children as well. In truth, the bulk of this work is being done by these indigenous Christian families who are working the land and giving their lives for these children. Besides Mrs. Soko and her 4 children, there is of course Shadrach and Virian Galatia, who not only administrate but also have their share of children. William and Jennifer Machesso have 3 birth children of their own, and so far a few of the more challenging children who struggle with bedwetting and difficult memories. Marco and Chimwemwe Kanama have a house full of boys, with the only female so far being their most recent birth child. And of course there is Zach and Maria Nkata, who have just received their first son, Joshua.
So I'm really excited about the project that is coming along of taking care of the orphans. It's gonna be, it's one of my passions. I love little kids. So just to see them there and to be part of that transition, it's really something. It's really something great to plant crops and to actually know that it's actually going for people. So it's amazing.
It was 3 years ago, almost to the month. It was actually 35 months ago that we stood in this property and prayed and planned and strategized and cried out and asked the Lord to give us a ministry that we didn't originally expect. We came here to do farming, to support pastors, and the Lord has enlarged our heart until now we have a ministry for children. In this area alone of Malawi, there's 20,000 vulnerable children. Now that means anything from not getting enough food, enough education, single-family homes, to a downright orphan and destitute. But God has blessed us. We have a pavilion in the background that's going to be used as a schoolhouse and a library. We also have 3 cottages. We have 2 more going up. It's beautiful to see the buildings, but if you could see the souls, God has brought some families here. We're not just feeding children and clothing them. We have beautiful mothers and fathers that are adopting these children in. It's a foster care kind of thing. They don't actually take their name, but they love them, they train them in the ways of the Lord, and we are seeing a beautiful, beautiful crop that goes far beyond maize or tomatoes or sugar cane, and it'll be sweeter for eternity. And my heart's rejoicing.
I love Jesus. You love Jesus. We love our Master. Praise God. Amen. Praise God. Hallelujah. Praise God. Amen. Praise God. Hallelujah. Praise God. Amen. I love Jesus. You love